Yes.
Well, due to the fact that there's a global pandemic, all the cases keep getting pushed back. We are next in court in your case. I'm looking at the public docket, and it tells me that the next status here in your case is not till September 9th of 2021.
Wow.
Yeah, this global pandemic, as you know. I mean, do you live, indeed, where do you live?
I'm homeless right now.
Oh, well, you probably know better than anyone. This global pandemic with the COVID has everything shut down.
Okay. But can you tell me what usually happens during the trial?
Well, have we set it? Yeah, we have set it for trial.
Because remember, the judge was like, I'm looking at 360 days. And I said, no, I'm going to go ahead and take it to trial.
Yep, I do remember. So when you say, what is that you'd like to know, how trial works?
Yeah, like, since...
Well, this is assault with a dangerous weapon, misdemeanor, simple assault, and attempted possession of a prohibited weapon. You have 3 charges. They're all misdemeanor charges. That means we don't have a jury trial. We'll have a judge deciding the facts of this case. The government has the burden of proof. By law, you don't have to say anything, Ms. Crider. You could sit there. We could play Uno, tic-tac-toe. We don't have to do anything. The government has to prove its case beyond a reasonable doubt. They do that by bringing in witnesses. There's going to be a witness to come in, somebody, and say, hey, she threatened me, she assaulted me, and she had a weapon on her. There may be police officers to testify about what they saw when they arrived. In this case, the woman is a Selena Galvez. And remind me if my memory serves me correct. I haven't looked at your case in a while. Is this the bus case? You're on a bus?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, you're on a bus. And you said you hadn't taken your medication. You were unaware of what went down. Given the fact that time has expired so much, Selena Galvez may not be alive for all we know. She may even not be living in D.C. for all we know. I don't know that for a fact, but I'm just saying time tends to help these types of cases. The more time that goes by, people forget.
She never even showed up in court since.
She didn't need to show up in court. There was never time for her to show. She didn't need to come to court till trial. So I would never know that she never showed up in court because there's not a time for her to show up in court until it's time for trial.
Oh, okay.
But if she doesn't show up in court, your case is thrown out because they don't have a victim. Now they may try to proceed with the videotape. If I remember correctly, there's videotape in your case from the bus. But the government has the burden of proof. They have to bring Selena Galvez into the court to say what happened, her side of the story. They'll show the videotape to the judge. If you want to testify, you can testify. You can say, Judge, I don't remember doing this. I was going to take my med. This is what I recall happened. I felt threatened. Whatever. You don't have to testify if you don't want to. You can just sit there and say, no, I'm not going to testify. It's my job after every witness that takes the stand to cross-examine them, to ask them questions, to try to beat their case down. Once that's done, the judge then makes his or her decision. And then if we lose, that means if you're found guilty, then you're sentenced. Now, the judge can sentence you based only according to the law. The law says for all 3 of these misdemeanors, 1 misdemeanor, threats to do bodily harm, the worst he can do is 6 months in jail, no more, no less, or $1,000 fine. For assault, the worst he can do is 180 days or $1,000, no more or less. For attempted possession of prohibited weapon, the worst he can do, a knife, is 180 days in jail, which is 6 months, and or $1,000. So all 3 of these charges come with 180 days, 180 days, 180 days. 180 days times 3, I don't do math. It's a long time in jail. That's the worst that can happen to you. Okay. Do you have a criminal background? I didn't look at I don't have your file in front of me. Do you have a criminal background?
I don't know.
Okay. Someone like you, I don't think he's going to throw you in jail for a year and a half.
You remember before I had went to trial and I said before I went to trial, but before I decided to go to trial, you were saying
Yep.
that I'm probably due 1 day because I did 9 days already. You was like I was looking
No,
at 10 days.
no, and I don't think I would say that because I don't know what. I hope I didn't say because I don't know how the judge would sentence you.
No. I'm
If
not
we
talking.
lose,
No. I'm not talking about since I've decided to take it to trial. I'm talking about remember that particular. Well, you probably don't remember, but this is what I remember. Before we even
yeah,
had court, you remember we was talking before the court case, and
okay.
I had signed the papers, and you was like, well, you could possibly do 10 days, and I was like, well, I already did 9 days, and you was like, well, you'll just owe 1 day if I go ahead and
Was
and plea.
that the plea I was
Yeah,
talking to you about? The
right.
plea? Okay, all right. I don't remember the plea. Let me see if I can find it here.
I just on that day I took it to trial. I mean, 1 day wouldn't have hurt me being as though I did 9 days. But it was just on that day we had court. I was not trying to go to jail that day. I wasn't ready.
All right, that makes sense to me. Yeah, their plea back in, this was way back in 2020, they said, Dear counsel, I'm writing to inform you about the criminal matter. This case is set for status January 31st, 2020. Your client is not eligible for diversion, but at your request, the government can screen for mental health, community court, or drug court. The government extends the following plea offer to your client. If the defendant pleads guilty to simple assault and attempted prohibited possession of a knife, the government will dismiss the remaining counts and ask for 60 days all over her head, all but 10. So that means, yeah, you had served 9. I said, well, you may go to jail for that 1 day because they want 10 days, but then you'd have 50 days remaining over your head while you're on probation. So that was their plea offer. And on January 31st, 2020, as you stated, yeah, we rejected their plea offer. We said, no, I want to go to trial. So.
Okay, thank you for breaking everything down.
Absolutely. That's my job. That's what I'm here for. Again, yeah, Monday through Friday, I'm here. I try not to talk on the phones with clients over the weekends anymore. I try to devote that time to my family. But if you have any questions, Ms. Kreider, or if you feel like, hey, I don't want to go to trial, maybe I could go back to the government and say, can we resolve this? I don't know. But we have September, not a long time, but we have a ways away until we're back in court. And again, it's a global pandemic. I don't know if we'll be in court. Your case has been moved. Supposed to be there 12/30, 2019. Let me see this. Your case got moved 31, 2020. We're scheduled for May 7th of 2020. Then it got kicked to July 23rd, 2020. Now it was 10/18/2020. Then it was March 11th, 20. And now we're looking at
September.
a date of 9/9/2021. So I don't know what's going to happen in September. It, obviously, due to the global pandemic, it may get pushed out again.
Well,
So,
like I told you,
if you have, yep, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like I told you before, I'm under MK Ultra mind control, and you was telling me don't say that in front of the judge because they can sentence me to live in the hospital. You know what I'm saying? If I be honest
absolutely.
like that,
You'd be declared insane.
that's crazy. And it's the truth though, because with this charge for, I would never, you know what I'm saying, harm anybody. But I tell you one thing, Miss Pearson don't walk around with no weapons no more. I tell you that.
Well, that's good. That's good. And, yeah. And you got to cry. You know, I know you're a Kreider, so every time you say Pearson, I'm glad you be reminding me you're Kreider too, because I don't be. Every time you say Pearson, I'll be like, who's Pearson?
Yeah, Kreider is the ex-husband, the devil. I definitely don't want that name.
Okay. All right.
We're divorced.
Well, you have my number. Understood. You have my number. If you need anything, please call me, and just know that we have some time now. Again, if you feel like, hey, I want to plead guilty, I'm scared. We could try to figure something else out too. You know, but
I'm gonna tell
As
you
your
why I'm
warrior.
scared. I'm gonna tell you why I'm not scared, but I don't want to go to DC jail because the last time I went to DC jail, they kept me in there. Like the judge kept giving me, you know, the paperwork to leave, but the what do you call them? The COs, they would not let me leave. They wouldn't release me.
Yeah, yeah. Well, anyone who says they're under their mind control can't control themselves. That's a good person to hold back from society because that's scary. It's not good. The mind control people, they tell you to go kill somebody. We can't have that. Can't have that. That's too scary.
I wish I could. Okay, all right. I'm gonna let you go. Thank you.
All right. Call me if you need me.
Have a good one.
You too.
What the hell? Look, everybody's scared. That's crazy.